The ANC has released names of members who've made the cut for its National Executive Committee. This is the party's highest decision-making body between conferences. Now, the party also wrapped up its national conference yesterday with some outstanding matters to be tackled when it reconvenes next month. And if we can, let's give you a sense of who did not make the cut for this particular NEC. And notably, you can see some of the names, someone like the Parliament Speaker, Nosiviwe Mapisa Nqakula, not making the cut there. Also, you can see Naledi Pandor not there, Pravin Gordhan not there, Maite Kwana Mashabana not there, Blade Nzimande not there, Natim Teto not there, Ibrahim Patel, Thulas Nxesi. These are the cabinet ministers who did not make the cut. And let's then talk about this list with Dr Ntsikelelo Breakfast, the political analyst. Dr. Breakfast, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Announcing the NEC members has also been one thing that was looked at when the party was, wrapping up its conference, because this is a structure that is also going to tell what kind of leadership are we going to see for the ANC in the next 5 years. What are your views on this list?
Well, I think the NEC as it stands, in my opinion, is all well and good. I mean, I like the fact that it reflects the demographics of the country with regard to gender, and it is also youthful. I'm not sure about racial categorization, but they can work on that. I think in any organization, if you want a synergy, if you want any organization to work well, you have to have young people and old people coming together, and also for purposes of transferring knowledge to up and coming cadres. So I like the fact that there are a lot of young people there who can also speak on behalf of other young people of the country. But what I cannot confirm is whether the president has an upper hand or not. But what caught my attention is the fact that there are also other people who never supported the president in the build-up to the conference that we're coming from, who are also included there, which is good, because the president has to think strategically and not be tactical, in the sense that he still needs those people, because the ANC is going to participate in the upcoming general election. So some of those people never supported him. They have a political capital and might be crowd pullers and help the ANC to perform well. So you cannot turn a blind eye to their capabilities just because they never supported you.
And some have said that the ANC needs to also work harder towards getting more of a representation of the demographics in terms of color when it comes to South Africa, because now it looks like it's becoming a party that doesn't have more of a representation there. Is that the sense you're getting as well?
Yes, for instance, if you examine the top 7, it does not reflect the racial makeup of the country. In this country, we have different racial categories. We've got black people, white people, Indian people, colored people. I'm sure even themselves, they want to see those of their own represented there. But I think that is something that the ANC can work on in future. But as a country, I think we are one happy, big family. But like any other family, we've got issues that we need to address in terms of racial categorization.
And when it comes then to, the issue of renewal, because you also still see the president talking about this in his opening and closing address, saying that the goal of conference was to unite the ANC movement and to also give momentum again to the process of renewal and for the party members to recommit themselves to that. Would you say that he achieved this particular goal?
Of course not, because if one looks at the political cleavages in the build-up to the conference, they've been very glaring. The conflict within the ANC has escalated and permeated, throughout the length and the breadth of the country. My view is that the issue of renewal must be based on principle. What is source for the goose is source for the gander. What you apply to the left-hand side in the same way must also apply it to the right-hand side. So when you are seen to be gravitating to one faction, it becomes a problem. For instance, the issue of the step-aside principle is all well and good in theory, but in practice, I think it has been applied selectively, and that has escalated the magnitude of the conflict within the ANC. So they need to work on those things.
But has there been, though, a clear, almost like a clear path, if I can even put it that way, for lack of a better word, on how the ANC is to achieve this renewal and this unity? Have they set out an important path for members to follow, or even a process, in your view?
Partly yes and partly no. There are many factors at play. One of them is the fact that some people don't want to let go of power because at some point they were in power, the faction of radical economic transformation. So I get the sense that they think that because they've lost power, they've lost political protection. No wonder we've seen these strategies that have been employed by former president of late in terms of instituting private prostitution, trying to prevent the incumbent from getting re-elected. So people don't want to let go of power because power protects you. And because of that, there has been a fight back. But also losing political power also means that you are losing access to economic resources. So those are some of the challenges of this. I don't think that the differences within the ANC have to do with the strategic direction that the party is taking. They have to do with who stands a chance to benefit from material gains.
And now, when we then talk about these very challenges, this is an organization that needs to fix itself. So how then does it begin to fix itself, at the same time fixing the challenges, the real challenges that South Africa is facing?
My opinion is that one of the challenges of the ANC is lack of political education. Because most of the people who have joined the ANC, let's say for argument's sake, in the early 90s, at my age, have been politically baptized in factionalism and have not made time to internalize the values of the ANC. You can't be a comrade without political education. I think if the ANC can address the issue of political education, then ANC members will be able to understand what the party stands for. And that can also go a long way in terms of addressing the issue of corruption, because I think most people, they tend to think that the ANC doesn't take the issue of corruption seriously because of the slow pace of responsiveness of the ANC surrounding the issue of corruption. So they need to help their cadres to have a better understanding of what the ANC stands for.
So in your view, then, is the political school that they currently have then achieving this mandate?
Not as yet. They need to have a curriculum and make sure that curriculum.
All right, so it does look like we've lost him there, but we did get a gist of what he had to say. That's Dr. Ntsikelelo Breakfast there as we wrapped up our conversation on the ANC's NEC members who've been announced this afternoon. At the same time, the party wrapping up its conference, and it will reconvene next month.